Hi. So we've recently received our AMI unit, or Autonomous Monitoring of Insects unit, from the UK Centre for Ecology and Hydrology. You will receive, along with the unit, when you receive one shipped, a manual that will get into the details. So we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing here and go through the major components and how to put this thing together. First off, you receive it in this really hardy box, and it will be packed with all kinds of peanuts that we're gonna empty out here and make some space and get out some of this, some of the materials here to show you what these things look like. Okay, so now we've got the peanuts all removed from the box and all of the major components removed from the box in which you've been shipped. This is also going to function as the main structure in which a lot of this is mounted. So here we have the camera mount with the ring of LED lights. So this is a 4K camera actually capturing images and video. Here's the plate that will be mounted on top of this unit, and that will house everything, including the wall here, which this white board will ultimately function as the white wall. We're actually still working on some alternatives or augmentations to this so that moths can actually hang on to that a little bit better. In here is, so here's the black light fluorescent that will come as well, and some arms that will mount this over the wall as well. And here is the brain of the operation housed in here. You'll find actually the Raspberry Pi unit. You will need, just while I'm thinking about it, a mini HDMI to interact with this if you're going to use a monitor at some point. It does make things a lot easier. An SSD drive and a timer to program. What else here? We can show you. This is there's a charge regulator here that will run to the solar panel ultimately, and a fuse box. And that's about it. There are some ports here that you can run some wiring through, and there's the power cable that for the Raspberry Pi will ultimately come in through the back, and there's some tubing here and structures to make sure that stays watertight as well. Okay, so we just finished running this cable underneath the cable for the camera that will supply the power to the camera, and the data cable to the Raspberry, connect to the Raspberry Pi through this cable, which will run underneath the mount here, the mounting frame. That'll run through a sort of bulkhead connector here, in which the data cable will connect to the Raspberry Pi with this blue USB, and the power here, these power red and black power cables will connect in, if you can see just in here, you will need a small flathead screwdriver to connect those and secure those cables into place. Okay, so we just finished mounting the whole unit, the plate here, onto the box. And you'll get a pack of washers and bolts to mount that. So the washers, the little rubber washers, will go underneath the foot here. And then you'll have another washer and a bolt that come underneath to mount it. One really important thing to note is that you want to have the battery or otherwise a counterweight inside the unit before you go about trying to do this, because then it's suddenly very top heavy. If you go to open that door, the top door, then it's all gonna go. But again, those washers are just mounted there. On the other side, it's important to note that these should just be hand tightened at first, and then go back and tighten them all. There's two down here as well. This is with a larger Allen key than is provided, so you'll need another a set of Allen keys with a larger key to tighten these and mount this to the box. Okay, so we've just finished hooking up the main power to the unit, which is run through here. So that will come down here. Basically, there was this piece of tubing that came, we slid that onto the wire and up into here. There's a little rubber gasket that you need to snap over the tube and then screw this on nice and tight to make sure it's secure and waterproof. Then there's this other end here that there's another rubber gasket that will, which is fastened on here to this elbow piece that also connects through a hole here at the back of the unit to run in through here on this end, and the brown wire will go to the positive, blue to the negative. You'll need your the small flathead again. These are tightened in with little screws underneath here, and then that's just closed. Okay, so now we've brought the unit outside into the field, otherwise known as my backyard, and you'll quickly see that we've duct taped around the base of the plate here because there was a gap, so to seal that off from moths getting in underneath. When we lift the top open, and we've actually also put a board there, white board painted with some sand in it, so that there's some substrate for the moths to attach to and other insects. So just quickly as well, with the battery, it's now hooked up, positive, negative, and that runs the power supply, of course, to the whole unit. Yeah, and then as well, we've got a solar panel supporting that power, or providing that power into this to the sun saver just there. We'll come around here quickly. So after you've got power hooked up and things, it's just a matter of going back into the unit and through micro USB or micro HDMI, here or here, to communicate with the Raspberry Pi and set up everything as per the manual to run the unit. We ran the unit last night and it was very successful. We had a lot of good images, so happy mothing.